You don't need to discipline yourself into not reaching out to that man that you know is not good for you. What you need to do is heal the emotional wound that is driving you to still want the attention, validation, engagement from someone that you inherently know is not good for you. I already know you're struggling because you think, yeah, I know better. Why am I doing this? You know he's not healthy, and yet you still find yourself waiting for the text back, hoping he reaches out, going on your Finsta and stalking his page. I know what you're doing. And you justify his bad behavior and you blame yourself, and then you think, what could I have done differently to draw out a different side of him? This is honestly so common for high achieving women because they are so, and hear me clearly, so used to earning and chasing love. But why does this happen when you are the woman who has it all together, you have a big, beautiful life, and yet you find yourself crippled? The kryptonite is this emotionally unavailable man that you're like not even sure you really like, you just know that you want him to want you. Listen, the reality is something about them is pulling on a core emotional wound for you. And so our bodies and our nervous systems are driven toward, number one, what's familiar, and whatever situation is going to correct that pattern. So until you heal that emotional wound, I can almost promise you that that dating experience is going to continue playing out that way. You're going to keep judging and shaming yourself. So what we need to do is get to the root of that core wounding. One of my current clients, call her client G, came to me because she was stuck on this guy that she had a situationship with. They weren't together, but she really cared about him and he was very emotionally unavailable and there wasn't the mutual energy going back and forth. And she was like, Brie, I'm sick of this. I'm like looking at his Instagram at night. I can't stay off his socials. I don't know why I'm so stuck on him. Success to me would look like being able to let this go and shift and start attracting healthier partners eventually. But even just being free from this, the mental chaos and turmoil and yearning. So the first thing we did was start to identify healthy versus wounded behavior. When you know that, you're a smart woman, you're able to start calling it for what it is. Secondly, we looked at that emotional wounding for her, which is always rooted in family dysfunction from the past. We looked at that emotional wounding of her feeling like she had to earn and chase love from a very early age from both of her parents by being a high achiever, by being pleasing, by being social, by being bubbly, and seeking out the love of somebody that was more of a socialite because it mimicked the patterns in her childhood. To clear the emotional wounding, she worked with my soft and secure framework and did the somatic-based healing on these woundings. She'd been to talk therapy for years and years, but it wasn't moving the needle. So we had to drop into the body. I teach specific methods that help with relationship wound clearing in my programs. And she started to heal into her feminine energy so she could be receptive and open and let them come forward toward her and release the connections from the past. She stepped into her confidence and her worth and her boundaries. And do you know what happened? She shifted so much. This is like clockwork for my clients. Within about 4 months, he reaches out to her after no contact. And you know what she said? I literally got the ick. I truly got the ick. She healed and changed so much. She said, I felt the difference of where I am now having done this healing work and that he's exactly in the same spot. And I said, there you go. He's not offering you anything different. And yet you're not entertained by it because you know too much now. You've healed too much now. Your standards are too high now. You love yourself too much now to put yourself back in that dynamic. She said, that's absolutely right. And then she said, let it all work out. No. And then she said, Brie, if we hadn't worked together, I guarantee you I would have entertained this. I would have felt like, oh my gosh, he finally texted me. He wants me again. And I would have messaged him and I would have got sucked in. And I said, how many months would it have taken you then? You could have spent 6 more months entertaining this situationship, not getting what you want because he hasn't grown, and then another year healing again. And instead, because you did the work and invested in yourself, your time and your energy and your money, look where you are. You're not going to waste 6 months of your life again. And you've already done the healing work and he's in the same spot. You can break this cycle and obsession. It is not a guessing game. There is a tangible path to healing this and shifting and then being able to attract healthier men going forward. So if this is something you want support with, follow me here. Follow me on Instagram. I do daily stories on things like this all the time. And if you want more formal support, message me on Instagram and let's talk about making that happen for you.